Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you're new. My name is Jordan, and in today's video I am going to be filling a flow journal. Now, for those of you who don't know, a flow journal is essentially a book that you put together with papers, images, just general scraps, and it is specifically made with the intention to eventually take it apart later. The way that you make these books is usually in a pretty impermanent way. You don't usually stitch the signatures together or anything like that. Rather, you use thread or yarn and you tie it around the outside of your cover so that you can slip in pieces of folded paper to create signatures, but you can also easily remove them. I have actually made flow journals before in the past, but none of them have ever been this large. The covers of this journal are actually 9.5 by 11.5 inches, and I found this cover at a local thrift store months ago for 69 cents, and I always intended to turn it into a flow journal because of the cording that was already threaded through it. The way that I really started this video and journal off was by folding a couple of large envelopes in half, and I also thrifted these. I thrifted pretty much all of the pieces I actually made this journal out of. All of the envelopes, the cover. I get a lot of my art supplies secondhand, and I put those through the cording as a bit of a cover for my signatures. I knew that one of the things I wanted to put into this flow journal were a lot of smaller scraps, not just large pieces of paper. So having the envelopes both on the outside of the signatures and also slipped underneath the straps on the inside covers was a very good way to give myself some extra space to put smaller pieces. Now, the reason I decided to actually make a video out of this process instead of simply doing it on my own time is actually because of a series I had once started on this channel. This series was called the Scrap Drawer Project, and the general idea behind it was that I had accumulated a lot of small bits and pieces, lots of scraps, and I had put them all into one drawer. And it was very overwhelming very quickly. And I wanted to start using up some of those scraps. The video series was actually created to help motivate me to use those little pieces. However, shortly after I started that series, I started having a lot of technical problems when it came to making videos. I would record things on my phone and I could never transfer them to my computer, and there were just a lot of very stressful things happening in regards to making videos. And I actually stopped making videos completely for a while. However, I have since resolved those issues, which I'm very glad about because I have missed making videos, and it has always been my intention to get back to this video series. If you want to see the first part of this series, the Scrap Drawer Project, I will leave a link in the description of this video, and will probably also put it in the cards, so that you can find that and see what the entire idea behind the project was all about. And as for the purpose of this video specifically, I thought that I might be a little more apt to use pieces if they were more easily accessible. It's not that I don't use my scraps, because I actually do use them quite frequently. I would say that collage is a very big part of my mixed media art journaling arc. However, I have always enjoyed the flow journals that I've made in the past, and so I thought having one that was even bigger and full of even more inspiring materials would just be fun for me to kind of flip through and just generally play with. And I loaded a ton of pieces into this book. Like I said, this journal is quite massive, and I was loading pieces into this for over an hour. I tried to put things that were very inspiring to me into this journal, and although I want to use all of my scraps, I thought that the flow journal specifically could just be full of the ones that spoke to me the most. That's not to say that later on down the line I won't put other things back into it. However, for now, I thought that this would be a good way for me to approach it. Now, I have no idea how many pieces are actually in this journal, but I'm sure it is in the hundreds range. There are lots of little pieces in all 4 of the envelopes that are in this. I tucked larger pieces underneath the straps where I put the envelopes. And of course, there are also the signatures. This will definitely keep me going for quite a while in terms of collage material, although I am sure that by the time I have not used everything completely but made a significant dent in this journal, my collage scraps collection will have grown dramatically once more. One of the things I like most about flow journals specifically is the portability of them. Though I typically work at my desk in my room, sometimes I do like to work downstairs at the kitchen table, or I might do something with my younger sister, or I might want to work in my bed one day, which I don't usually do, but maybe I want to. The cool thing about flow journals is that you can easily pick up a rather significant pile of scraps and collage material and bring it with you. I could work downstairs in front of the TV if that was something that I felt like I wanted to do one day, or even just the fact that I can put it on my desk and look through such a wide assortment of collage material is extremely nice to me. And not only is it nice, but I find it extremely inspiring to sort through all sorts of little bits and pieces. In fact, the act of actually creating this flow journal made me want to create, because I was handling so many inspiring pieces. Now, in the past when I've made these journals, I have actually made my own covers out of file folders. You could very easily do the same thing. I was lucky enough to just stumble across this cover, but it is pretty simple to just wrap some yarn or heavy cord around something like a file folder or a folded piece of cardstock and use that as your cover. You could probably also use pieces of cereal boxes or other thin cardboard that have been folded in half. My previous flow journals, I actually used half of file folders. I didn't use full size. And I glued little envelopes to the inside covers, much in the same way that I slipped envelopes into this one. A major reason for this is that most of the art journals that I work in are pretty small. I would say on average they are around 3x4, and I like using collage. So I don't always need a full 8.5x11 sheet of paper. I might just need a little 1" by 1" scrap. So I like that envelopes and pockets and other add-ins give me the option to include different types of pieces in my flow journals. So I am sure this will not be the last you see of this journal. I intend to make very good use of it, and It will likely be making appearances in future videos, not only scrap drawer videos, but just general mixed media art journal videos. And I hope you enjoyed watching the process of my making it. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you were inspired to go out and make a flow journal of your own. If you want to see other exclusive content from me, I do have a Patreon page, and I will link to that in the description of this video. There you will find tutorials, zines, exclusive videos, prompts, and really whatever else kind of comes to mind as something I want to share. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and until next time, happy creating!